Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the whole flex scattered abroad that's out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. I'm Brother Rabak, coming at you to, a quick sit down, Lord willing. This video is edifying, man, we was kind of going into this camp today, man. I wanted to bring it back out, man. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 and verse 23. It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds, These celebrities, man, these presidents, you hear when Donald Trump, somebody of that magnitude, you see when they have these rallies, man, and, they put him up there on the stage. He says what he has to say, and nobody says anything. Everybody is quiet while he talks, man. They sit up there and listen, And when he finishes, everybody starts cheering, man. So what about the prophets of the Lord, man? The Lord's mouthpiece, man. What about us? That just goes to show you this thing isn't for everybody, man. And the world will love his own. It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. What about the Lord's prophets, man? We don't stick out like a, brothers ain't got money like that, man. To be having a damn suit, a damn Tom Ford suit and some pointy, how these pastors get, man. They got the whole nine, We don't have all this, man. But when we the words that the spirit that the Lord puts on us, to preach this truth, man, is worth more than gold, man. But you don't see people crowded up, around camp or trying to get the truth of the Lord, man. Bringing it back, it says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him, man. When we speak, they don't care. They don't acknowledge. They want to be rude when they come up, interrupt. They wouldn't do that at a Donald Trump pep rally, man. They gonna wait till that man finish saying what he has to say. We're not saying that all people like that, but most people are, man. They come up proud, thinking they know everything, man. I want to go to the book of Proverbs. Go to Proverbs chapter 14. It says, the poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. Right, man? They hate us, bro. They hate us for doing the work of the Lord, man. They hate us for doing the work of the Lord. You might got friends in your family. They like, oh, he didn't turn into some kind of thug. He don't want to serve Jesus no more. This and that. How our family get, man. They want to they all of a sudden they too good for you because you believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. You see it, man, countless of times, man. Brothers have plenty testimonies of this, man. It says, but the rich hath many friends. Our only true friends are in this truth, man. Our only true family is in this truth. You got brothers all over the world. But you only, you probably only know a few of them, besides the one in your respective camps, man. The rich have many friends. It's easy to like somebody like that on this side, man. They always speaking smooth words, or trying to encourage you to live your life in this place, man. But what the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, man. Depart, because this is not your rest, man. This is not our rest. It's not meant for us to be rich on this side, man. Think about it. What if brothers was rich, man? They wouldn't be focusing on the truth. They'll be focused on, trying to keep up with the Karens, man. Keep up with the I forgot, how that saying go, but I think it's keep up with the Joneses, man. They'll be trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of focusing on the Lord's work, man. That's why we get our daily bread from the Lord, man. The Lord will keep you at bay, and satisfied, man. So I'm gonna stay in the book of Proverbs. I'm gonna go to chapter 19. This is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 4. It says, "Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor." People start to gravitate around you, when they see you doing good on this side, and they gravitate around you for all the wrong reasons, man. It's them damn demons, bro. How much more when you're in a lower state, you bring like-minded people, or you attract like-minded people, man. Especially in the truth, man. Brothers ain't being proud, in that prideful spirit, because we have to be humble, man. Because the Lord you see these people, you ever see they on top and they just drop dead straight to the bottom, man. The Lord can take you off your fucking high horse, man. Just like that. But I'm going to go to the book of Job. This is Job chapter 12. I'm going to go to the book. I wanted to bring this one out in NLT. Go to the book of Job chapter 12. I think it's verse 20. Salakia, brother. I think it's chapter. I want to bring this one out in NLT. This is Job chapter 12, verse 20. In the NLT, it says, "He silences the trusted advisors and removes the inside of the elders. He pours disgrace upon princes and disarms the strong. He uncovers mysteries hidden in darkness. He brings light to the deepest glooms." And the Lord puts that spirit on us to do that, man. These mysteries, man. The Lord, gives his mysteries, to the prophets, man. The Lord reveals his secrets to the prophets, roughly paraphrasing it, man. Go to the book of John chapter 15. This is John chapter 15, verse 18. It says, "If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you." Like I was saying, man. You know, they listen to that rich man, you know, on in this world, not in the spirit, man. They listen to those rich people, man. You know, just like they hated our big brother Yahweh Shai, man. You don't think they gonna hate us too? You know, we not, you know, there's not gonna be no walk in the park, man. We have to go through that same, you know, those same trials and tribulations that Yahweh Shai did, man. You know, I'm gonna grab this last scripture. I ain't gonna hold it too long. This is Matthew chapter 5. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 3. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is in the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai," man. And that's what it is. We don't have to have these big ass crowds around us, man. You know, we building that spiritual bank account. You know, we don't care, you know, if you come up and listen or not, man, because ultimately this is for the elect's sake, man. You know, so the Lord knows our heart. The Lord knows, you know, we coming to serve Him in truth and sincerity. You know, to hell with the rest of you people, man. If it ain't the elect, man, to hell with the rest of these people, man. You know, but yeah, man, that's pretty much all on this lesson. Lord willing, you would edify. Until next video. Shalom.